Hi, my name's Claire Colley and I work for Planning Recruitment, and I'm here today to tell you my top 5 tips on remote workers. It's just been announced in the news about COVID-19 and how all companies are encouraged to, where possible, let their employees work from home. For some companies this will be no problem at all, you'll be fully set up, but for other companies you've never done this before. So here's my top 5 tips of considerations that you need to make when planning this to make it most effective and efficient for your business. So number 1 is reliable tools. So making sure that they're provided with a PC, laptop, phone, all the equipment that they're going to need in order to do their job. But it's not just about supplying them with the hardware, it's also about making sure that all software is loaded, up to date and right, so that when they walk into their house, they sit down, they switch the PC on, they're ready to go. They've just got to connect to the Wi-Fi. You don't want to end up having their frustration of spending 6 hours just trying to get online to do something. It's not going to work. So make sure that all tools provided work for them. Number 2 is communication. You need to produce a communication strategy. So the first thing you need to look at in a communication strategy is what communication media are you going to use. That can be anything from phone, email, texting, through to social media and virtual meeting rooms and video conferencing. No doubt you'll use all of those at some point in time, but it's also thinking about when you're going to use them and the frequency. So it could be hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and who's going to actually attend as well those meetings, because it can be 2 people, it can be company wide. So it needs to be set as to what it's going to look like, and that will vary on a weekly basis even. But the biggest thing that you need to concentrate on with your communication strategy is how you're going to communicate, what you're trying to get across. This isn't just about managing your staff, this is also about coaching and mentoring them, supporting them, and the most biggest thing is motivating them. It's very isolating working from home, especially if all you've ever done is working in an office. You suddenly don't have people around you to talk to or ask questions to. So it is quite an adjustment to make. So the easier you can make this adjustment, the more efficient your staff are going to be. So really do think about what messages you're going to be delivering and how you're going to actually do that. Which then brings me on to number 3, which is setting expectations and objectives. You need to ensure that your objectives are goals or results driven. If you make it about activity, you will end up micromanaging them. And people work very differently from home to what they do in an office, because they've got to manage their own time. They don't have you there constantly with them. So you need to make sure that it's clear and concise expectations of what they got to do and by when, and that's what you need to make it about. You need to make it about here's the objective, there's your task, this is the realistic time I need you to do it in, go and do it. So make sure that it's very clear and concise, goals orientated or results setting. And then number 4 is trusting your team. You have to trust your team. They are going to be working remotely. You've not got as much control over them. You've not got as much management over them at all. So you need to trust that they're going to do the job that you're employing them to do. And in return, they'll give you loyalty back. Things you can set into play are home guidelines. So you can look at general things and what your expectations of how they deal with them and when. So it could be things like if a client calls, how fast they have to respond back to that client. If there's something urgent and it needs escalating, how are they going to escalate it? Are they going to send a text? Are they going to call? So just think about home guidelines that you can set for your business that suits you best to get the best out of your employees. And then number 5 is health and safety. These people are still your employees. They're not self-employed, therefore you still have a duty of care, even when they're working at home, for how they're working. So this is things to look at would be, do they have a desk? Do they have a comfy chair that's going to support them when they're sat there working? Are they taking the appropriate breaks that they should be? Ensuring that they're not working through the night in order to get the job done. So from a health and safety point of view, you will need to look at it. Also from a business insurance point of view as well. As I said, they're still employees, so you need to make sure that the business insurance will cover them working from home as well. You may also, depending on how long this goes on for, and we really don't know yet, you may very well need to look at contracts of employment. You might be putting their place of work down from home, or you might have to change the hours of which they're working. So you need to make considerations for that as well. In relation to recruitment at the moment, face-to-face interviewing just isn't happening. People want the least amount of contact, physical contact as possible. So now we are moving more towards Skype interviewing. There are contractors out there that are set up to work from home. So if you do want somebody for a task by task basis, because the workload is, you're busy, but because where the market's at the moment, you can't clearly see 6 months ahead where we're going to be, then contract might be an option for you. They're on short periods of time, notice-wise, but you really would need to make sure that you're very clear and concise as to the expectations of what they're doing and how they're doing it, and inspect what you expect as well. So making sure that you're checking, especially when they first start, checking that they're doing what you think they should be, as well with that. But if you've got any questions about recruitment, if you've got any questions about the marketplace, please feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to have a chat. But thank you so much for your time today. I hope that was useful. Thanks. Bye.